this is Quinn, and welcome to my Autumn TBR. I personally like to set up a seasonal TBR versus a monthly TBR. I definitely lean towards being more of a mood reader, and so this helps just kind of narrow down what I want by vibes and be able to just kind of pick and choose from this shelf. So on this bookcase, I have 4 shelves dedicated to my physical TBR, and one of those shelves is always dedicated to my seasonal TBR and what I'm currently reading. This also helps me kind of go through my physical TBR. I don't have very many physical books. I try really hard to buy only the ones that I'm interested in reading. I get a couple from my library, I get it from Libby. So this bookcase isn't actually ever filled up. My top shelf that you can't really see only has about 5 books. Then I have my nonfiction shelf, which has less than 10. And then you can just see the peak of this bottom shelf, which really also has less than 10 books. So I really strive to not have very, very many on my bookshelf, because I used to be one of those people who had a whole bookshelf full to the brim and 90% of it was unread. It just takes up so much space. Moving with the books that I don't read is also very stressful. I've worked on this goal, and so now I have less than 50 or 60 physical books. Now moving on to my actual TBR. Monday was the autumn equinox, so for me that is the start of autumn. September is also the magical readathon, and I only have 2 more books left to read that I'm not going to include in this. Now you'll probably see a theme of fall, right? I have a lot of spooky books, I have a lot of witchy books, dark academia books. That's kind of the vibe that I always feel and get drawn towards during the autumn months. So the first book is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I believe this book is in a academic setting about 2 students who have to travel to the underworld to get a recommendation letter by their dead professor. And I also, if you can see, got a really great printed on edge at Costco, of all places. Very fancy. Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wang. This was a gift for the winter holiday season last year. My friend said since I loved Babel so much, I would really, really like this. So I know nothing about it. I think this is also in that dark academia setting, and it also has very fun red green edges. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I really, really loved The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, but I really didn't like A Darker Shade of Magic. This, I heard, is lesbian vampires, and that's all I know about it. So I'm really hoping that this breaks the tie of the one loved book, one hated book. I also got the signed edition at TJ Maxx. Very weird place to find books. I saw a couple other ones that I've read before that were popular. I've never seen books there before. But here is the little signature. The House Witch 2 by Delm Hatch. I recently listened to the first book and I thought it was super cozy, super nice. And so I decided to pick up the second one. It's about a male house witch who goes and gets hired as the cook. No one knows that he is a witch. And it is kind of reading about his journey and the journey of everyone at the castle during a kind of tumultuous time of maybe war is going to happen, all that other stuff. That might not sound cozy, but it is a very cozy read. And I really, really liked the audiobook, other than for one certain part with our little feline friend. My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I believe this is about a slasher film fanatic who realizes that maybe they are in a slasher fic, something like that. I read the first chapter a while ago when I was reading the first chapter of all my physical books to see if I would keep them or not. And this was just definitely movie-esque. And I have the audiobook for this, and I am very excited to get a little spooked. The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. I believe this is about a woman who randomly gets cravings for one of their significant other's eyeballs. I mean, here it mentions betrayal, so maybe it's a female rage story, but a little spooky and gross. The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This is about a woman randomly murdering her husband in a brutal way, and now she is silent and doesn't talk. And since she's the silent patient, right, I think they're trying to figure out her motives. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is one of the OG Dark Academia books. I'm excited to see kind of where that genre kind of first really got into mainstream. I'm sure there was books before this that maybe dealt with the dark academia setting, but I'm excited to delve into this one. This was another really funny Costco find. As you can see, let me get closer, that there are little shiny foil autumn leaves. And this is the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. I've heard that this cover is not indicative to the contents of the inside, that this is actually quite spicy. I believe it takes place in fall with the pumpkin spice aspect, so it gets added to the shelf. Now, this is my next section. I'm actually not going to talk very much about these. I am planning a vlog where I read a whole bunch of botanical horror books. I'm hoping to get the video posted at the end of October, so the first 3 weeks I'll just be trying to read as much of this as possible. We got A Botanical Daughter by Noah Medlock, What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson, Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, The House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland, Summer Suns by Lee Mandelo, Don't Let the Forest In by Drews. And the other library book that I don't have right now is The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. And that wraps up my Autumn TBR. As always with TBRs, they are hopefuls. I hope to get to them. But I don't like using the word hopeful. I just like the regular TBR without people trying to insinuate that you're trying to read everything, right? So this TBR is flexible, and I usually read 8 books a month on average. And as you can see, I went over 9 books, and there'll be 8 books for the Botanical Horror vlog. So these are actually not all the books that I will obviously read. I like planning for less amount of books so that if something pops up and comes in, I still can read the ones I plan to, but then I'll be able to grab a book from my library, or if there's a new release that I haven't heard of, I like to add that to my list. Let me know what your autumn reading plans are, or if there is a botanical horror that you recommend. I think the only other botanical horror that I've read is Wilder Girls, but other than that, it will eventually just be these. As always, this is Quinn, signing out.